Other interesting cultural news, you have Chicago irate about the anti-ICE protests going viral, and they're even blocking traffic. And yeah, it's yet another reason not to live in Chicago, as if you needed one. This brought to us thanks to End Wokeness, in which he says, quote, a fed-up driver just threw the anti-ICE mob blocking off traffic in Chicago. This is credited to CBS News, Chicago affiliate. Let's see here.
We'll show you here. There's the red car that's coming in, and you'll see people trying to get out of the way, others standing in front, and others beating the car, trying to slow it down or stop it. And then you'll see the officer right there as it passed. We'll show you here.
There you go. Made it right through.
There's the red car that's coming in, and you'll see people trying to get out of the way, others standing in front, and others beating the car, trying to slow it down or stop it. And then you'll see the officer right there.
I'm trying to slap it. Look at that. And very effeminate looking officer. Red car made it. Because again, let's be honest, who are the police going to help in this situation? You saw in many instances, like the George Floyd Summer of Love riots, where the police actually went after the good guys because they're outnumbered by the bad guys. Now, this got 2.2 million views and 51,000 likes. And yet another reason I'm in the wrong business. I mean, instead of selling IT and providing services in the industry, why not manufacture the cow catcher and start welding them onto the front of vehicles? I mean, old-timey trains used to have that way back in the day when you had cattle on there. Now, interestingly enough, a lot of these protesters do have the body composition of cattle, and many of the women do have the cattle ring on their nose. Not a parallels in history as it repeats itself, but a good way to get those quote-unquote peaceful protesters out of the way. Not legal advice, of course, but might be able to push them out of the way with one of those cow catchers on the front of your vehicle. And again, this should be and again, I'm not a fan of most federal laws when it comes to protecting good guys. I can't but think there should be a law that says there are people standing in the middle of the street. They should not be able to sue you if they jump on your vehicle or you hit them, or like these quote unquote. There's nothing more infuriating and annoying than a protester standing in the street and disturbing their work. Granted, that is their job because many of them are paid to disrupt the public and, cause a ruckus. But some of us actually have to get to work. And it's so, especially environmentalists, they are famous for now blocking traffic and inconveniencing everyone's days, ironically causing more emissions as cars stand there, because they're not moving. But I partially digress. That's not what this specific protest and gathering is about. But look at all these idiots just standing in the middle of the street. Yeah. And I was going to say, thank God that driver got out of Chicago alive. That's actually a rare instance. And yeah, I would be very concerned about being stopped with the crowd around you in Chicago, or as many people call it, Chirac. And I was about to say fun fact, it's a sad fact of the day. When the U.S. was involved in the Middle East, more Americans died on a daily basis in Chicago than Iraq, which shows you the culture of Chicago. I'm sure it'll be a safe, great place to move your business to next year and your family. And it's obviously not, just like the Chicago Bears. Every year they say they'll be good next year. Yeah, that is in fact not true. The last time the Bears won the Super Bowl, they saved the pictures on a floppy disk, which people don't even know what it is anymore because it's an outdated, some debate in outdated media format. But if you use Microsoft, that's the save logo. That's what it's based off of. It was an actual floppy disk, which ages me quite a bit. Now, going to the actual comments, one of the first ones comes to us thanks to our favorite contrarian, the gas stove, who, if you go to the profile, they literally admit that they're a contrarian, which makes them interesting. Now, this gas stove says, quote, the driver has committed homicide. It's homicide. Whoa. Getting 19 likes and 84 responses. When the first person responds is Virus Invictus Perdium, saying, quote, that's not homicide. That's self-defense from domestic terrorist. Look at the damaged windshield from projectiles. Getting 88 likes. Dungeon Master says they should be arresting the anti-ICE protesters too because words are also literally homicide, getting 3 likes. Paul Von Misses says no one was hurt except her ego, getting 2 likes. Ruth Brown says where I don't see any injuries, let alone a death, getting 5 likes. Someone just has a meme, or as some people say, meme. Not as fancy to say it that way, but the meme of Trump simply saying wrong. Or no, it's a GIF, or GIF, as some people might say. Now going back to the main comment section, Fatima Khan says, quote, Trump is wasting $134 million of taxpayer money to send troops to Los Angeles. For that same amount, we could be building 1,600 new affordable homes in the Seattle area. Stop wasting money on political stunts and start investing in things that our communities need. Mentally vacuous, but got 40 likes and 360 responses. I say mentally vacuous because for decades we've been fighting the quote unquote fighting the war on poverty by spending ungodly amounts of money, and yet it fixes nothing. One of the most useless things is giving homeless people housing without proper medication, therapies, and actual help for them. Because again, there's an issue. There's a reason they don't have a house. It's not just because they can't afford it. A lot of these people have mental health issues. Sometimes they have physical health issues as well. But yeah, just building affordable homes in Seattle, that would do nothing. And in terms of Trump actually sending troops to Los Angeles, because again, there are some innocent people. A lot of people say you get what you vote for, you get what you deserve, kind of thing. There are some good people, maybe like 18. I'm kidding, maybe 23 people that are good that live in Los Angeles that do not deserve these riots to be happening to them. And they are federal taxpayers. Granted, California also steals a lot of money in terms of us bailing them out, such as them spending billions of dollars on healthcare on illegals. But I partially digress. They're a tax-paying state. They provide some value, as most businesses actually leave there. But nevertheless, the innocent people need to be protected. And well, I don't know if they could save California if it's too far gone. But yeah, $135 is also a lot, but $134 million is also a lot. I'm not sure where they actually got that number from. The first response is from PT simply saying, eat shit, getting 247 likes, or as you might say, ratioing this person beyond all belief. Nilla Wafer says, quote, no one wants their money to go into the black hole NGO that's building affordable homes. Yeah, right, Seattle is literally a shithole, getting 53 likes. Fact check or community notes, true. I met a couple friends who escaped the hellhole that is Seattle, and yeah, that is a communist hellhole where there's so much regulation. Anyone with molecular intelligence or people who just want to make an honest living, most of them leave for a freedom-loving state. And that's another good point in terms of, spending money on affordable housing. I mean, California spent, $28 billion in 2024 on homelessness, and they had nothing to show for it. And they went to the houses and they weren't even fully assembled. I mean, they could not account for that money. And of course, if you and I to make a clerical error or fudge our taxes, we go to jail. We get fined. You get the Wesley Snipes treatment. But California, 28 billion. Who knows where it went? They'll just reelect Gavin Newsom again, which is ridiculous. Going back to the main comment section, Mr. Reality says, quote, running over protesters illegally obstructing a roadway shouldn't be illegal. Getting 1.5 thousand likes. Yeah, fact check, true. Because again, a lot of these protesters also we saw them throwing literally bricks and stones at police vehicles and other vehicles over the highway roadway in another instance. Now that was again Los Angeles. I mean, they're clearly posing a threat. Can't but think more often than not, the bad guys get more protection than the good guys. Womack says, who did this? And it's Robert Downey Jr. says, when you thought you had a dog, but it was just an anti-ICE protester, getting 798 likes. A little dark humor as Robert Downey Jr. looks very relieved in this meme. You also have Western Decline saying, quote, how to end all protests overnight. Ban Soros from America and confiscate his wealth, getting 373 likes. Which, he's international. You're never going to ban his wealth. But yeah, he has a disproportionate amount of effect on U.S. policies and cities. And fascinatingly enough, I've never found it to improve any of the quality of living or those cities in general. Ludwig Millie von Adams says, or has actually just a picture, says, quote, all lives splatter. Nobody cares about your protests. Keep your ass off the damn road. 111 likes. And yeah, that's a good point. People just want to get to work. Well, who work for a living. Again, it is so annoying when people have protests on the road. Again, have a peaceful protest on the sidewalks so that people can still walk past. In fact, I implore you, go to Home Depot or go to more likely Hobby Lobby. Get some really nice quality cardstock or maybe foam board. That's pretty good. And you can let your peaceful message, be known. I think that's a great idea. Again, don't inconvenience people so they can't get to work and then threaten their lives and throw stuff in their cars. That's clearly a threat. Going down more and more. You have, oh geez Louise, Kevin from Wyoming having a picture of an ice cream truck with some red splatter on the hood. And he says, quote, just drove through there. I don't see any protesters, getting 78 likes. Western Decline also says, Democrats support the following: criminal illegal immigrants, men and women's sports, terrorist organizations. Did I miss anything? Getting 50 likes. Pretty much every other country except us in terms of our tax funding. Hopefully USAID never creeps up again. Jeez Louise, talk about a waste of money. Zidahe says, quote, don't blame him. Protesters who block roadways should be treated as speed bumps. No right to block others right away. Getting 73 likes. Now, again, the issue is a lot of these roads, I mean, a vast majority of the time, they're state roads. They're actually not, federal highways. So again, my idea of like having a federal law that protects you, again, I'm definitely not a lawyer, though I do own a suit, but it's an instance where, yeah, in terms of, where would these prospective crimes and, these laws all be? It's all on a local state level. But yeah, it's more lawlessness spreading throughout the country, and yet another reason not to live in a city as if you didn't already need one. But let me know, do you think, will these protesters ever stop, or will the funding for the paid protesters ever stop? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so you can click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.